get into chat. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. I'm just getting my day started. Well, I've already eaten breakfast. I've been up since like 5 o'clock this morning. And, getting ready to start my day. So I hope everybody is doing well this morning, and we're going to get started. A lot of this stuff is distracting from Sebastian Rogers and avocation for Sebastian Rogers, and that's exactly what I believe. If this stuff is Chris and Katie again, where people are assuming a lot, I haven't received anything. So until we know for sure what's going on, I'm not going to speculate any further. At the end of the day, I have to be served. The person on my end in my court record is not listed, so I can't assume who it is. So before I can even file anything in the courts, I need to find out who I need to file it against. So with that being said, Kendall, hey, how are you doing? Grand Rising, I can't believe I actually made a live. Oh, it's nice to see you. Yeah, it's early. Well, it's early for most people, but it's really not. People should be up getting ready for work unless they're in like California. Hey, Caitlin, it's nice to see you. But then I realized, you know what, at the end of the day, we know that they haven't been trying to search for their son. We know that they have been putting up roadblock after roadblock after roadblock for the people that are trying to search for their son or find any information. So this goes to show you more than anything who the problems are in this case and why are they, because I haven't talked to them. So as far as the lady's lying, I haven't even seen them in the flesh. The only thing I've seen them is stuff on social media, and of course us going through their interviews and stuff like that. I've never even seen them in the flesh. Like it's absolutely nutty. Good morning, Mel. But either way, no matter how you look at it, it's lies. So we'll be dealing with that, but I'm pretty sure she's going to have to, because I think the temporary is only good for 2 weeks. So that means in order for her to extend it, she's got to physically go in on the 8th to talk to them. And I think that is an actual court proceeding, and she's going to have to proffer some information, like legit information. She just can't say, oh my gosh, I'm fearful. She's got to produce, we're online. They have cameras at their house. If this harassment existed, they should have proof of that. And there's no proof. There absolutely could be no proof unless it's manufactured, because I haven't even reached out to these people. It's wild, the effort that they put into you, not their son. Exactly. And that's another thing. That's why I say, it's very crystal clear at this moment, they are not trying to find their son. As a matter of fact, they're trying to unlawfully quelch any person speaking of the case. I'm not stupid. I'm not Nick Barris. I don't work for a company that has boardrooms that control what comes out of my mouth. This is America. I can have my opinions, I can have my criticisms, and I can bring this stuff online. She does not have to watch it. If it's so harassing to her, then she should just change the freaking channel. But one thing she can't do is go to a court and lie and say I'm harassing her because I'm talking on my own channel about her case. That's something they can't do. But wouldn't you say that at this point it's crystal clear they don't want him found? Because I haven't been around them. All I've been doing is going to businesses and people that have reached out to me. I can prove literally everything. They have that you harassed or threatened them 3 times. There's no possibility. And not unless they manufactured stuff. There's no possibility. I haven't even spoke to them. I haven't sent them emails, messages. I haven't even asked them questions in the Facebook chat when they were in all those chat rooms. I never even asked them questions. I have never spoken to these people. Like I said, the only thing I've got is the messenger where Chris reached out to me to let me know that he was, back in the day when those people were talking about or impersonating Chris Proudfoot. And he came into the chat, he reached out to me to let me know that wasn't him, and that's not true. So outside of that, and that's a contact he made to me, not the other way around, is the only contact that I've had with either one of them. And that was literally months ago. So it's clear that they're trying to distract from Sebastian's case. There's no other explanation for this. None whatsoever. Are you trying to keep Seth from getting his son? Oh, good gracious. Girl, we know you're not deserving that. Yeah, and it's all, and I cannot for the life of me, like, it's literally a felony to lie about this stuff. and let them manufacture and intentionally manufacture proof before the court. That's even worse. Like this is like they don't, obviously they don't mind lying under oath. So, you know, we have to look at that aspect, because if they don't mind lying in a court, would they mind lying to law enforcement? You know, if they don't mind lying to a court and literally doing underhanded stuff, literally breaking the law, committing a felony, then what else are they willing to do? You know, clearly these people have no problem breaking the law. They have no problem lying to law enforcement or courts. So what makes us believe that they're going to be truthful about Sebastian? If they're willing to do all of this, you see what I'm saying? Hey, Kimberly, it's nice to see you. They want rid of everyone that is searching and bringing attention to Sebastian. They want the case to die out because they just want this child to be missing. They screwed up a lot, and they are very upset. Thank you, Kimberly. And Lisa, you got the gifted membership. Nice. Good morning, True Crime Addict. So Sebastian Rogers, for those that are just tuning in, is a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been heard or seen from since. And he was inside, according to his mother, inside the home with his mother. And apparently the whole home was locked. That's what she told law enforcement. She told the whole law enforcement that it was locked. Chris told everybody, if anybody's at that front door, there's going to be a figure or a shadow coming out of the front door. None of that existed that night or into the early morning or in the morning when law enforcement got there. They searched all the cameras. They've got the footage. There's no sign that Sebastian even walked out of the home. Not through a window, not through a door, not through the front door, back door, nothing. Okay? Oh, thank you, Kimberly. God bless you. Yeah, I know. What are they going to do when Silver starts digging this coming week? I have no earthly idea, because he's already been digging. But apparently he should be careful, because they will lie under oath to try to get him arrested, especially if he's getting close. So I doubt he has anything going on in Horn Lake. If they're not attacking him and they're only attacking me, then clearly he's probably outside of his, because I don't think this child is anywhere near Memphis. I think this child is either in Hendersonville, Gallatin, or White House. That's, if I had to bet money on it, that's where it is, because Chris wasn't in the Memphis area to get comfortable enough to do anything in that area. He had been there since, like, I think January, and he was, excuse me, January, and he was gone by February 26th. So he had no time. I mean, he was working and going home, you know, except on some of the weekends. Most of the weekends he came home up until the event where CPS was involved, and then he just never came home again, and basically told Katie, it's your son or it's me. Well, her son disappeared a month later, and they're living their best life ever. And you know, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, well, there are a lot of people. There's a massive amount of people that agree with that statement. And so it's just a little bizarre to me that so obviously we're digging in a lot deeper, you know, and I'm allowed to do investigative reporting. I'm allowed to talk to people. I'm allowed to go places. I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want within the law. Just because they don't like that I'm doing it doesn't mean they can lie under oath. And furthermore, this was only a stunt, you know, and I have to think that somebody got in Katie's ear and tried to convince her that this was a good idea without playing the tape through. And they're like, oh, yeah, let's do this because, oh, she won't come to, I'll come anywhere for a court hearing. You're going to have to prove your damn case, lady. And I can prove for a fact, a absolute 100% fact you lied under oath. Because I've only been to Hendersonville, Tennessee one time. It was for filming and documenting purposes. I never talked to Katie. The only thing I did was drive by their house, which I'm allowed to do on a public roadway. I broke no laws, and I filmed while I was doing which is in the course of my business and my job title. So they absolutely 100% lied. And I bet you she failed to tell them that I'm reporting on her son's case. Like, this is a constitutional. If you look at it, it even says the only thing that they cannot do is if it's covered under the Constitution. With all my work is covered under the Constitution. I have freedom of press. I have freedom of speech. I have freedom of assembly. So, and the only way, and I read everything that I could on ex parte order, she had to tell them that she was in fear for her life, that I was going to cause imminent bodily harm or death to her. That's what she had to testify under oath to get that ex parte harassment and protective order. That's what she had to attest under oath, is that I was an imminent threat to her personal safety and or life. And it's because I'm questioning, yep, the pickle bag. We're questioning a lot of things, and they don't like it because we're digging a little deeper. I'm doing my due diligence, and I'm following the leads and following the case. And so they're trying to say that that's somehow, well, maybe that is jeopardizing her life. In all fairness, I mean, because when the truth comes out, I have a funny feeling they're going to be in a lot of trouble, and they are going to be facing heavy consequences because of their actions. Related to Sebastian Rogers. So but that's not the threshold needed. It needs to be for me, and that I'm not doing. So we'll find out how corrupt this county is very quickly, because it's my understanding that she's going to have to prove on the 8th that she has sufficient evidence for grounds to continue this protection order. And there's no way, and like I said, unless she produces fraudulent information, there's no way she can possibly produce that. Now, and it is my understanding that they just don't extend it without just cause. So she's going to have to produce everything against me, and there's not going to be anything. They can't say a month ago me driving by and filming in my car for the 3 or 4 times I drove by their house, that justifies harassment. There's no possibility of that, because that wasn't the intent. The intent is I'm recording this location because a crime was committed, and I'm doing it from public property, no different than news media. They can't prevent me from doing that. What a liar. Seriously wish there were more fearless women like yourself defending missing children and giving them a voice. Well, that's why I'm such a threat to these hate channels that protect these bad parents. Now you know why they target me and me alone. They ain't targeting Dolly. They ain't targeting JLR, right? Because they don't get shit right. They target me because we do our due diligence. I told you we have a high batting average on this channel, even though they've lied to all their audience about that for a really long time. We do, like I said, I used to work for lawyers. I mean, I've done a lot of different types of investigations. I'm a little rusty on my legal paperwork, but I'm learning as I'm relearning as I go, I guess I should say. It's not like riding a bike, okay? I can tell you that. Because I'm the one that's the most fearless, and I think that it's because she hates Seth so much, and I think that's what it is. It's because I'm Team Sebastian, and Team Sebastian is basically Team Seth, because Katie and Chris haven't done anything for the boy, so Team Sebastian is definitely not Chris and Katie. Team Sebastian is 100% Team Seth. And probably drop it, or else they'll look ridiculous. Well, it doesn't matter. She's going to end up trying to fight it as much as she can, because she's going to need to try to keep it going, because now I've already threatened them with legal action, and I'm planning on pursuing legal action against them for these false claims. Not only, and everybody's saying, oh, I have a warrant for my arrest. No, that's not even it. It's basically if I violate, and that's it again, this warrant thing says her name and her description. So, and I don't care and what Nick says, but until I see who is on that paper, I don't know who's involved. We're just taking pieces here and formulating an opinion. And if for any reason she is the one behind this protective order, she's got herself a problem. If Chris is on there too, then he's going on the complaint as well, because that's what it comes down to. They lied under oath. There's no possibility that I have done anything close to harassment of them at all. I'm sorry, but I could knock on their neighbor's door and it still not constitute harassment. I have to physically harass them. I have to put them in jeopardy of their life, which I've never done in my life. I have never put anybody in jeopardy of their life. I've never been accused of it in 45 years. And then all of a sudden I turned my life over to God 10 years ago. And now I become this massive criminal that's going to stalk strangers. when all of my past history, it was related to alcohol and drugs and domestic related stuff. But now I'm all of a sudden, in 45 years, I'm just going to start harassing innocent people or strangers. Come on. I've never been accused of this in my life. Yeah, I'm the one going the hardest and spooks them. Well, they don't have to watch. You know, that is their choice to watch my commentary. So I'm sorry if they feel threatened by my commentary from Florida. Still does not rise to the necessary threshold for a protective order in Tennessee. Like, she literally had to tell them that she was in fear of her life. That is my understanding from everything I've read. I'm not a domestic partner to her. I have never SA'd her. I've never, well, these are all the requirements. I've never cyber stalked her. I've never made phone calls to her. I've never made emails to her. Like, I've literally made no contact to this lady. I've never physically seen this lady in the flesh. She's got a huge threshold to meet. And what she just did was a felony. So again, Chris and Katie do not mind lying under oath. They do not mind lying to law enforcement. They do, and if they go before the court, they clearly don't mind lying to a judge. And so this is going to majorly backfire on them at some point. But as far as the warrant, there's no warrant. If they see me in Tennessee, they're not going to arrest me. I have to know who has the protective order, which I don't right now. And two, I have to violate that protective order after knowing about it. And that's when they have an automatic right to arrest me. For me being in Hendersonville is not an arrestable offense. For me being in Gallatin is not an arrestable offense. For me being in White House is not an arrestable offense. For me being in the state of Tennessee is not an arrestable offense. So they're literally lying to everybody about what is transpiring here. That means that if I go to her house, knock on her door, or come within whatever is in that, if again she's the respondent, or not the respondent, the petitioner. If she's the petitioner, then I have to willfully, knowingly violate that protective order, and they can immediately arrest. But right now, I've never been served. People are telling me it's Katie, but people were telling me just the other night it was somebody else. So until I see it, I don't know who it's from. Exactly, Lori, 100%. They're just trying to get you to stop, so please do not. I'm not stopping. They can't force me to stop. I broke no laws. None. You know, I can understand if they have an email from me, text, even just one. They have none. Let alone something that constitutes harassment. They've never even told me not to contact them because I've never contacted them. The only person that has contacted me is Chris. I'm not, no way, small town girl, they can serve me. They can serve me lawfully and through the exact process that's supposed to follow. That's exactly what they can do. All the rumors going on, CP tell all and dip to Louisiana. I heard he went to Louisiana. And you have the bio's dad's consent to search. I do. I have the full support of Seth Rogers. A missing child is public news. Everyone is allowed to talk about it. It absolutely is. But everybody knows that this is bullcrap. Everybody. The only people that are trying to capitalize off of it are the felony hate channels that protect, criminals. That's the only purpose of their channel, is to protect the criminals. They protected the Wells, and now they're trying to protect the Proud Feet. Proud Feet. Proudfoots. I guess my brain automatically made that plural. I'm sure glad we can experience the pleasure of having a normal child and running all over the place, buying Harleys when your baby's out there, unalived. Yeah, she's a crap mother. Are you going to put PO on everyone that's out there searching? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out, but she's going to have to produce a heck of a lot more than her feelings in court on the 8th. In my opinion, they just want to try to stop anyone supporting Seth and shut down anyone looking for Sebastian. That's 100%, Ginger Bell. That is absolutely 100%. They just, please stay safe. They are playing dirty. They are dirty. Their son is gone. He's been gone for 5 months. Everybody said he was going to magically appear as soon as Faith went home. Well, he hasn't magically appeared. Okay? So this illusion that they didn't do anything to their son is crazy. Nick Barris is the one that gave the world the video. He's the one that pointed out these 2 subjects, right? I've been commenting on those 2 subjects since Nick Barris dropped that video. That still doesn't constitute harassment. And you know what? At the end of the day, 2 lights came out of their home, 1 light went back. The next morning, the only person there was Katie Proudfoot. Again, if you were a teacher and we were in a problem-solving exercise right now, what would your deductive reasoning be on that? At the end of the day, all they did was just amplify the need for our gathering of voices. Nothing is stopping our gathering of voices. Even if I get arrested, the gathering of voices is going on. They can arrest me at the vigil in Clarksville on the 24th. We'll bond out. We're going to be at that gathering of voices. If anybody has opposition to it, it's an opposition against Sebastian Rogers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a pig. You come there and protest against anything related to Sebastian, you are literally protesting against this boy. So don't sit there and try to use word salad or manipulate audience on exactly what it is. You are protesting against a 15-year-old missing boy because we're there for love while you're there for hate. Big difference. I was arrested for pulling in my driveway. My neighbor watched me pull in from work. Just about anywhere. Hate her neighbors. Yeah, Ellie said I was harassing them and had me locked up 5 times. I would have had a civil suit against them. I would have done an emergency injunction. Yeah, as soon as I get this paperwork, we're going to be raising funds because I am going to get an attorney in Tennessee and we're going to go after the proud feet. Liar foots. Because what they did is a crime and they caused me damages because of it. But if it's her, she's proving her guilt even more. If she's not guilty, why would anybody want to stop anybody from? Because they never wanted to spread awareness. They only wanted to appear to have spread awareness. They never wanted this case to get this big. They just wanted this boy to be classified as a runaway and start getting dust on the file. That's what they wanted for this case. The problem is their story doesn't make sense and it's constantly forever changing. And then we find the Bowersox frickin' vehicle out front of their house at 3:30 in the morning, allegedly, the Bowersox vehicle. It surely looks like it from the silhouette that matches up with a QX80. But again, as I stated before, this is my opinion and it's a non-scientific rendering of their car in a simple overlay over the halo of the vehicle. And it seems to be a perfect match. So no matter how you look at it, it's still my opinion and that I'm entitled to have here in America. You know, it's so funny that they're Navy, they're Navy. You know, many people don't realize, well, many people do realize because you guys watch my channel, I'm from a military family too. I love the military, but they are absolutely trash. They should not have any benefits from our military. Our military are of good men and women, and they make our military look like crap. And I hope when push comes to shove, she loses all of her benefits from the military for this. She can't stand it. Her life isn't how she thought it would. Exactly. They had pictured this whole, you know, just being able to live their best life, not realizing how many people would be gravitating to this case. And a lot of that is because of our commentary on it. You know, and a lot of it's the drama. And it wouldn't surprise me because this right here sounds like a very specific person's doing. And then I found that very specific person in and around that community in and around about this time. So it makes me wonder if he set them up, if he is the one that gave them the advice to do this. Or if he gave you know, the hate channels this advice and they relayed that to them. And they thought this was a good idea because this person said this other criminal said so. Somebody didn't play the tape through. They know I'm very tenacious, and when there is a crime committed against me, I will fight. And this is so clear cut, and I've got so much overwhelming proof and evidence on my side that they're going to have some problems, some major problems. So like I said, I'm going to wait until I get my paperwork served to me at home. Again, it's going to be after the 8th. I mean, it just is what it is, because I mean, I have traveling. I have documented traveling. Again, I told QB's attorney, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So he didn't send me or want to schedule hearings or anything while I was out of town. You know, so I coordinate with the attorney's office just to let him know if I'm going to be gone for like a week or two. It's just you know, he doesn't respect me anyway, so it wouldn't really help. Usually I'm surprised he wouldn't start you know, bombarding me with paperwork when I'm out of town, but I think that looks bad or poorly upon the courts, you know. And not only that, but he has court hearings too, and trials and everything else, and I don't think he wants to get into that with me, because then if he did that to me, I'd start doing that to him while he's in the middle of a trial, you know, because it's just it's underhanded, but there's nothing wrong with it. They could do it, but at the end of the day, they you know, I report to him when I'm gone for any significant amount of time, just like he does to me. When he had to go out of the country or something for like a week or two, he sent me an email letting me know he's going to be out of the country and what his days were. So, can you go down? No, I'm not going anywhere. Absolutely not. Again, they can serve me. When I get served, I'll know who is on that paperwork, and I will be served. So I'll wait until I see what's on that paperwork, and then figure out where I'm going to go from there once I read everything. They are hoping the case would be lost in the files in time. Keep on keeping on. You're doing great. Yeah. Betty, I sent Sonia the TCA on ex parte for people who aren't residents in Tennessee. Okay. Oh, like a pamphlet? That kind of helps. Okay, then I'll read that. People hating on anyone who is seeking the truth and doing everything in their power to help find a missing child is weak and acts by only cowards. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I seen that he was going back to Horn Lake with a shovel, but I really don't. I went there and I did. I spoke to a lot of people while I was in Horn Lake, and I was in Horn Lake. And one thing I can tell you is it doesn't sound like Chris was there long enough for anybody to even. He wasn't a rememberable person, you know. I've only found one gas station that's because the employee was there for quite a significant time, and he recalls Chris, but he told me it has been a really long time ago, months. He said months, and so that's when it dawned on me that Chris hasn't been back to that specific area in months. They're hoping, yeah. Kimberly, I wish I could put all your stuff up, but I'm running straight YouTube, so it won't let me. So the only way people can see it is in the chat. So I'm sorry, but thank you, Kimberly. I would say she's getting very scared. You're getting too close to the truth. I would say she's getting very scared. And you're getting, yeah, I agree. Thank you. I'll email it to you just so you have it as well. Okay, thank you, Nola's mom. It's the Tennessee Codes annotate. Okay, perfect. Well, it doesn't matter, no matter how you look at it. I'm sure you probably read it. You know damn well she's had to lie under oath. That's a felony. She intentionally and willfully lied under oath. And she did it maliciously, with full intent of the consequences, because it specifically states under there, under penalty of perjury, and it tells you exactly what the penalty of perjury is. And she still documented that. She still signed that document. Yeah, she's casual, Christy. She's doing great. As soon as actually, it's probably about time for me to make a call to my mom, anyways. Check on her. The light that was on the above the door on the camper was not on a few weeks ago, and she'll have to keep lying under oath. Yeah, I love Delilah more than my mom do too. I don't love her I love her as much as my grandchildren, but she's my buddy. Thanks, Sam. No, I'm not going to stop. We're going to keep going down this. I just can't believe that they really were stupid enough to open themselves up to a civil suit, which is exactly what they've now got. So no matter how we work this is not going away for them. This is not going away for me. Um, there's a lot of people doing a lot of dirty stuff, and they keep trying to do this because they want to help Queen Bee in her lawsuit. I truly believe that. And so they're making all this chaos to help her. And that's the only reason why they're doing it. So I'm going to get to the bottom of all of this. And I do believe that this all is linked together because there's only one person trying to destroy me. And she's acquiring as many people to do it. And of course, she's the rooter for the Proudfoot. She's the one that has reached out to them or had somebody reach out to them when I was in town. She has actively and engaged publicly in trying to get me locked up. JLR has contact with T-Rev and all of them. He was just in the community not too long ago, and then all of a sudden this stuff goes off. And I'm sorry, this feels a whole lot like JLR. Okay, JLR is the kind of person that does this dirty stuff right here. And it's just awfully funny that this is what they've tried to do. So, it's time to call in your guard to duty. We will be there on the 26th if you give us the okay. Well, we're come one, come all, Marianne, because it's going forward one way or another. Like I said, I'm not going to back away, and I will allow them to arrest me because at the end of the day, if I go to jail over this nonsense, over my constitutional rights, they will probably most likely be right behind me for lying under oath. That's completely disgusting. Leave Betty alone, seriously. Yeah. What do you think they did to Sebastian? Honestly, I don't know. I think if I had to give my opinion, my true-hearted opinion, I truly believe, it's kind of hard because all of this is starting to have a hint of premeditation, from her making breakfast to her having this huge day with him that was overexerting. There is those elements, the fact that this happened on July 26th, the fact that she seems to really gravitate toward the 26th. Do you notice that? She filed her divorce petition on February 26, 2016. Her son went missing 8 years to the date later on February 26, 2024. She files this complaint on July 26th. We're doing this gathering of voices on August 26th. So the 26th seems to be a very pivotal day, a favorite day, if you will, for Katie. Must be a day of celebration for her because she seems to always want to do something to celebrate something on the 26th. Like she thinks she's going to get me. It's got to be on the 26th, It just seems awfully funny that this 26 date keeps infiltrating this case. Everything seems to happen significant in Katie's life on the 26th day of a month. It's a little creepy and cryptic, and I don't know. I don't think Katie knows where Sebastian is. But petite, proud feet. Sure, that Chris does. Yeah. No, she knows. I think they put him inside a mattress and moved him to the dump. That's interesting. He knew how thick concrete needed to be. She has PMS on the 26th. I don't know. I think the thud was the mother hurting him. I do too. But getting back to my theory, so we have a premeditation type of theory, and we have an oh crap factor type of theory, which is, something got heated and went overboard, and by the time everybody calmed down, it was too late. Okay. So I have two theories, but the situation is still the same, whether I think it was premeditated or just, something blew up and went crazy right then and there. I think that, I don't think she, that anything happened by knife or gun. I think she, either smothered him or, this is again my theory, or strangled him because he had the bruise on his Adam's apple. We learned from kids in school that he was acting weird days leading up to his disappearance, and being very quiet and reserved and to himself and just not himself, is what we're hearing. So I think that something like that happened inside that home. And then when it was done, Katie freaked out and called her husband and told him her story of events of what happened. And I think that they worked on the phone for the 3 hours to work out what they were going to do. And then after he hung up, I think Chris came, and Chris and Katie both worked on removing Sebastian out of the house. And I think Chris thought he was out of the sight of the camera because of the way the camera is angled. It looks like where they would have parked, it wouldn't have been in the view of the camera. So somebody was intentionally trying to avoid that camera on that corner where they parked. But it picked their car up anyways, right at the very, like they were, if they were just one car length into the frame. Because remember, the silhouette of the back of the vehicle hit right out on like literally the line of the frame. So they thought that they were out of the view of that camera. So somebody in that vehicle knew that that camera existed and knew that camera rolled. And they intentionally and willfully tried to avoid that camera, but they got their entire car in the view of the camera, and that screwed them up as well. And then you see the flashlights coming there. While you can't see images or anything like that clear, you can see that there are two separate individuals with these lights. And those two individuals, you have one going to the car first, and it looks like one kind of running after the other one. And when they both get there, they're there for 30 seconds or so, and they're off the camera. But the one starts heading back to their house, only one. And the other one gets in the vehicle and leaves. So it clearly wasn't Sebastian getting in the vehicle and driving off. He doesn't have a driver's license, nor does he drive. So the second light couldn't have possibly been Sebastian, because that person got into a vehicle and drove off. So you put all this stuff together and it's not looking good for them. Now we're talking about items missing from the house, such as her army bag or her Navy bag or sea bag. The sea bag is a very large item, and it can hold, and it's designed so a person can put up to XYZ pounds on their back and walk with their sea bag. So it's designed to carry heavy things for long distance. And I believe that that bag is missing from their house. I truly believe it's missing from their house. If not that, then definitely a suitcase. I'm sorry, I'm just not, and Seth knows, I know he hates me talking when I tell him my theories, but, in all fairness, these are my theories. I don't bode really with Seth's theories, but I want to support his theories, because at the end of the day, I want to be totally and 100% wrong about this case. But at the end of the day, the questions of this case are becoming more and more, and by Katie and Chris's actions, even from day one, have created even more and more scrutiny on them, disbelief on the public's part toward them, and they want to have somebody to blame. And so they're going to try to blame me for that. That still does not rise to the level of harassment. They lied under oath, and they absolutely stated she had to have stated under oath to get that ex parte protection order that I am an imminent threat to her of bodily harm and or death. That's what she had to attest to under oath. Okay? So I want to make sure everybody's well aware of what she would have been required to attest under oath in order to get that. And there is no possibility of me being a life-threatening danger to them. I haven't even seen them in the flesh, nor have I spoken to them, or even attempted to speak to them. I gave them an opportunity months ago, if they would like, and I said it publicly on my channel, if they would like to come up here, I would treat them with as much respect as I treated Seth and Tony when I gave them their first interview. From encounters listening to Seth about Sebastian, I hate to say, I feel like he would have run away and made an appearance if he was handed off. Unfortunately, I think something bad happened. Yes. Maybe the thud was her falling down. Interesting. But I think she did it, and I think she did it with her own hands. There was too many comments made about the mattress. Possibly there was a third dirty Ooh, maybe they had a mattress, threw that mattress away, and acquired a new mattress from their friend to replace that one. So if anybody had anything to say, they would have thought like that. Which makes it pre-med. Yeah. Well, you know, Chris had to be involved because he wanted a divorce. If Katie acted alone, he would have already thrown her under the bus. Yeah. And he has made it very clear that he's the man of the house, and his job is to protect his family, which he considered Faith, his mom, his stepfather, and Katie. He never considered Chris. He considered Chris the boy, or Katie's son. FBI agents need to get Katie and Chris properly investigated and interviewed. This is ridiculous. The mother was the only person in the home with Sebastian. Let it make sense. Why is she even out? Exactly. Chris don't seem the type to have hand-me-downs. He doesn't. He's too bougie. They don't want Sebastian found. That's crystal clear. Absolutely. Interrogated separately. And I asked, listen to this, because when I went out with Seth, we went to a Mexican restaurant. We were sitting there talking, and let me read that thing again, because I was just thinking, and then I got sidetracked here. And I asked him if he had been interrogated, and he said he's been questioned. And I said, but did you go down to like an interrogation room at like their sheriff's office? And he said no. He said because he has an airtight alibi. And I said, do you know if they've been interrogated separately? He goes, he knows that he's been questioned in front of Chris and Katie, but he doesn't. And I kept saying there's no way they wouldn't have done interrogations on them separately at this point. But, you know, I have to think, I don't know. You know, I really don't. I don't know if, for any reason, that be the case. I'm not sure. Curiosity got me. The numerology of 26 is about strength, discernment, and administration. It aims for harmony, appreciation, and love through subtle control. That's weird. Good morning, Oma. Who said that there was a bruise on the throat? Is this fact or just a story? No, this is the picture. So Carrie, on the Optimum picture, I don't know if you know what the Optimum. It's the last photo that Sebastian had that his mother took of him, and it was when they were at Costco on February 24th. So February 24th was Saturday. Okay, and their eventful day was Sunday. Well, the day before at Costco's on the 24th, Saturday the 24th, there was a picture Katie took, and this is of Sebastian smiling. He's got a drink and a huge slice of pizza that kind of hung over his plate. And she took that picture, and right on his Adam apple is a clear thumbprint bruise on his throat. It is clear as day. I wish I had green screen on YouTube, but I don't. I only have that on TikTok, so I can't just push it up here and show you where it's at. But there you can clearly see, and I'm very familiar with shadowing because I do a lot of filming because it's my job. And so you can clearly see that the light is up and over because you can clearly see the angle. Like you see how my angle here of the lighting, it tells you what direction the light is from me, okay? So you can see that, and you can see what is shadow, and there's still a brownish yellow bruise right there on his Adam's apple. It's brown, and it's got, if you look close, it's got a little bit of yelling, so it had been there for a little minute. It was already in the healing process. The concrete comment from CP led me to believe he's under concrete. Well, you know, that could account for hours. You got to remember, we're missing him for 10 solid hours. They clearly see you as a threat, so keep digging. KP, shame on you claiming to be a victim. The only victims are Sebastian and you taking Seth's son away from him. The truth will come out. Where can I find the picture and proof it was abuse? Thanks. Well, just the way you comment on that, no matter what we produce to you, I doubt you'll ever believe abuse. I mean, there's literally CP records that state and outline that Seth has. I have not been privy to see them because he's not allowed to show them. But from the description that's described is that there was multiple incidences in that house. There were multiple, not one, not two, multiple incidences in that house where CPS was investigating the Proudfoots for abuse. Multiple. The problem is here is I wonder what Chris and Katie say, because they have a document on record of Sebastian self-harming. And this has been my question from the very beginning. One of the very first videos that I stated was, is it possible that Katie and Chris have been hiding abuse by just saying that he did it to himself? And I truly believe that that is the case. Good morning, Betty. I believe soon something is going to break and people will be arrested. Justice for Sebastian. You're imminent threat for sure for the truth to come out, and they don't want that. What cases have you solved? What cases have you solved? I mean, I don't solve cases. I'm not a detective. I research cases. I advocate for victims of crime. I do investigative reporting on these cases. And if you really want to know something about it, one, we did find Gabby Petito's water bottle, and two, we did find what was that lady's name in Pasco County? The one the Colin Knapp. What was her name? I remember the assailant, Colin Knapp. You know, we pointed the neighbors into the specific location of that lady. The only reason why we couldn't go back there and find her is because of a freaking swamp. And at that time, I had no wading gear, and there were literally water moccasins in the pond that I had to go across to get to it because it was on the back of his house. So we don't solve cases. We help bring answers to cases. We help advocate for cases. And I get so sick and tired of people getting it twisted in an effort to make themselves feel better. We're very effective, I can tell you that. They have lied since day one. It's clear what happened. Shame Ellie haven't done the investigation properly. I think they waited too late to get critical information. Just my personal opinion. None of your business. My husband, who is LE in Tennessee, has explained an ex parte to me last night when I showed him. He feels it's not a protection order, but we will see. I would think concrete, just because the criminals need to find new ways of hiding such things, since he will never be found. Well, somebody was also talking to me about, grave digging and how long it takes to manually dig something deep enough, and it could take, many hours. Someone said you were bringing, I've never said, actually, as a matter of fact, I've made it very clear, I don't travel with my gun. I've said that from day one. Who's saying that? That is a flat out lie. And not only that, I am licensed to carry a concealed weapon. I'm allowed to, by law. And not only that, but every single state I go to is open carry. It doesn't matter. I can bring it anywhere. I can say I'm bringing it anywhere. There's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. I lawfully possess my firearm and went through proper training to do so. And I am bringing a machete. Just because I'm bringing these things, I've never threatened anybody with them. I bring the machete because I'm going to be out in the woods. I can bring whatever the hell I want to. The bottom line is there has to be an intent of bodily injury. I don't bring my gun, and I've explained it. My gun is too old, and it's too heavy. It's not conducive for carrying it on my person. I need a 380 or a short nose like 9mm. But this idea that somehow I'm a criminal because I carry it, I'm lawfully allowed to. I literally went through extra training than the normal person to get my concealed weapons license. And I don't know if you haven't realized this, but in America, we're allowed to defend ourselves with bodily harm if somebody threatens us with bodily harm. If somebody comes up to me and makes me fear in jeopardy, I am to give them a warning. And after that, I mean, I'm not even required to give them a warning if it's an imminent threat. You know? So this whole thing that people are so offended by guns, like literally in the state of Tennessee where it's open carry here. Everybody has one. Who would say they heard a thud and think of saying a thud unless the mind is triggered by the thud? Yeah, it's interesting. Siri told CP 3 hours and 37 minutes. That is exactly what they said. So do I want him found? It's been long enough. He needs justice. Absolutely, Rodney. Hey, River. I didn't even see River's comment. I want him found. Yep. So they can keep doing this. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to hinder me because at the end of the day, they're going to be the one holding the bag for all of their BS. And they're going to have to own it because their names are all over it and they signed under oath. Betty, you don't have to explain to anyone your actions. We know you didn't do anything. It's because you speak the truth and are getting close to getting the truth. And I just want to be very, very ultra crystal clear. I'm going to pull a crystal clear Chris. We are moving forward with the gathering of voices on August 26th. Got flyers and bracelets. Oh, yay. So that means all the people on that list must have gotten them. So if you haven't gotten your package and you were on the list to get the flyers and the bracelets, you should be receiving them in the next day or so if you haven't already. Sandra seems they minimize, right? I didn't realize the Proudfoot's connection. CP looks like a fat mushroom with zero personality. He is. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna wait until I get served. But once I'm served, that's it. Because that I'll have plenty of time. You know, it doesn't really matter because I really don't care. You know, with QB's, she's screwed no matter how we look at this. And she can keep fighting it, but eventually my complaint's gonna go through because it's just modifying it. And even if this goes away, he's going to give me probably 30 days to amend. But even if he makes me refile, it's $306 to refile. Her ass is grass. If this doesn't go through, which I think it will, because they already acknowledged that I have standing for at least one ground. They've already acknowledged that openly on their last thing. So we're going to be going through. We're now going to be officially in a court proceeding. And so it's going to be firing fairly quickly. But it's not going to stop me from going after Chris and Katie. And exactly why, because theirs is so easy. It's so clear on its face that it's worth me getting an attorney for Tennessee. And not only that, they've got assets that we can attach to. Clear assets. I sure wish teachers could have talked to Sebastian. I think teachers did, because it's from my understanding the teachers reported this stuff to law enforcement. Jay and the rest of these creators are just horrible, especially after threatening to kill his family. I'm literally crying after that. Yeah, well, they're idiots. But you know what? They ran with a story without factually checking it out or doing any due diligence or fact finding. So it's just like them to do that. Like I told you, they manufacture stories. And they lie to their audience to manipulate them. This is a perfect example. You guys just watched all of this stuff of everybody telling you guys all this information for a click in the view and how I'm going down. And here I am, hi, sitting in Tennessee, and guess what? Nothing, right? Nothing. Still here, still unarrested, still unobstructed. Justice for Sebastian and crying comes soon. Betty, do you need flyers printed? I can do it and get them out. Seth, oh shoot, I forgot to get the flyers from Seth. Damn it. Seth had just bought a whole thing of new flyers, and he actually bought a whole thing of new wristbands. The new ones are glow in the dark. They're really, really cool. He designed them himself, and I don't want to know what he paid for them, but I don't know, somebody that does the wristbands know how much these things cost for packages. I don't know how many per package. He had like 3 packages filled to the gills. So, there is that. She's protecting her weight problem and relationship problem on Sebastian. She's stalking. Yeah, and that's going to be another thing. They're going to have to explain why Terry Bowersox was seen in my video following me around for 30 minutes. They're going to have to explain all of that, because it's clear. And they're going to have to explain why I called the cops 2 times I was here for harassment, and specifically referenced them. And I've got body cam footage of that can be requested. So it's very clear that I have, like I told you, that's why I make my paper trails where I make them for this nonsense right here. I have records that I can literally go and request from public records and get this stuff in. And I can produce that in court to prove my point. Like Katie has lied through her teeth. We all know that. So there's no point in even addressing it. This is to take away from her own son, avocation for her own son. She's a piece of shit. Excuse me, preachers, but I got to call it like I see it. And she's a piece of shit. Now, you guys can pray for her ever-loving soul, but I'm not. Sorry, not sorry. I'm a Christian, but I'm one of those Christians that need Jesus every day. I will tell you that. Oh, thank you, Sweet Jones. It's nice. What is it? I'm trying to see it, catch her name off, and it won't let me. It just says Sweet Jones. That's all. If I don't know what it is, I'm so sorry. What is it? Yeah, it is Sweet Jones. Okay, I did see it. It didn't catch it completely off. Gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership and 10 of Tartan paint. Received the gifted membership. Other people have footage of Terry Bowersox following you and harassing. Bowersox following and harassing them too. Exactly. So we've got everything on our side in this case. I mean, they're screwed, literally screwed. So, like I said, I'm not at this point. I know the law is on my side, and we'll find out how how their Sumner County courts are going to roll, because she's got to produce a hell of a lot more than what she has to continue this protective order. And when I get served then, and it doesn't matter, because even if this hearing goes away, they're going to still most likely still serve me the package, even though it'll be late, and they have to provide service to the courts that I was properly served, which they can't do until I'm back in Florida. So when I get back in Florida, hopefully they'll go ahead and come by after I'm back, and they drop the paperwork off, unless they had to submit it back into the court record for the 8th to say that they were unable to serve me. I don't know how that process works, because again, I've never dealt with it, but it doesn't really matter. I've looked at the elements needed to establish harassment. I've looked at every legal possibility, and there's no they're literally, the only way that they were able to get this is lying through their teeth. So she just committed a felony. Bullhorn Betty did not. I looked at the second generation from 2017 until now on Google Map. They got a new rock mound in an interesting spit this year. A bunch of hidden items in the woods now. Interesting. Well, people did bring up, I think it's awfully funny to be in this community and have in Gallatin, right next to second generation, a fire, and then all of a sudden we have a house exploding. Now, I'm not saying the two are related by any stretch of the imagination, but that's some really crazy stuff that goes on in a community that only has 50,000 people. They have a criminal element in that community. Go get coffee this morning. Thanks for all. Oh, thank you, love. I appreciate it. If you in Tennessee just don't feel it's over you, I'm 90% positive that I'm not going in. Let me make this very ultra crystal clear for everybody here that wants me to go to that department. I'm not going to search for it. They're required to serve me under the law. Okay? My service address is in Florida. I am not in Florida. Clearly, an attempt to service me was unsuccessful in Florida. Now I'm in Tennessee, and the only way, from my understanding, that they can serve me or arrest me is if I am anywhere near Katy, which I'm not and never have been. So again, I'm not going to search for something because somebody on YouTube tells me to go search for it. This is a legal process. I'm going to let the legal process follow the way it's going to follow, and I will address it in due time, the way it's supposed to be addressed in due time. But I can tell you, Chris and Katy are going to be civilly sued at this point. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are absolutely going to be civilly sued by me. And it's going to be an abusive process, among other things. And I'm going to make sure that it's clear on the court record they have no problem lying to a judge and no problem lying to law enforcement. So what makes us believe that anything they said to a judge or to a law enforcement related to their son is true, accurate, or correct? Because they don't care about lying. They don't care about committing felonies, and they don't care about lying under oath. Clearly. I wouldn't go there either. It's their job to get that to you, not you go looking for it. Exactly. CP is getting fuel, waiting at Worsley's, 5 a.m. to open the car park. Takes Sebastian, gone 17 hours. CB stays with Katy. Seth turns up at 1008, sees CB. Yeah, I'm still trying to find out because nobody's been able to tell us where Chris was or what day Chris left the house. That's important. People are also stating they don't believe Chris was at Yogi Bear campground, that's why they moved their camper there to throw people off, that he was actually staying at another campground. So when I go back, I will be going to all the campgrounds in the area to see where Chris was specifically staying at the time of Sebastian's disappearance, and see if I can make heads or tails that way. I think it is, Sandra. So Sandra says, by them trying to get this order of protection, they are showing they're guilty of unaliving Sebastian and doing something with his body evil. I believe so. I believe that this is very indicative of that. I'm sorry, but at the first hour where the dogs didn't find any evidence of Sebastian leaving out of the house, the runaway theory is proven not to exist, so it's assumed immediately turns into foul play. Yeah, and that's why they're not cleared. And Chris is so hot under the collar that he can't get cleared. Well, you can't get cleared because nobody can account for your whereabouts, dude. And your story keeps changing. Every time somebody asks you, well, if this is the case, what about this? And then all of a sudden your story changes again. And then your story changes again, and then your story changes again. I'm sorry, but I can tell you exactly where I was, what I did yesterday without needing to rechange my story 15 times. Oh, thank you, Bella. Car parking lot. I didn't see any, like he could have, like right across the road, there's like a shed place, there's a BP and a Chevron, but I can promise you I probably wouldn't park there for any extended period of time. I mean, it's okay, but I can see after midnight at night, it being, there could potentially be problems because those stores aren't open after midnight. In my opinion, he came home and got Sebastian, moved him somewhere during those 17 hours. Why can't LE do more? Well, we don't know what LE is doing, and we don't know what evidence they've gotten in so far. I know immediately they would have had some phone records. So the phone records would have come in like almost immediately. They would have been able to pull the history, but the stuff from the phone carriers, the turnover is a lot quicker than, say, Google searches. Google searches and like their Google activity, that could take months to get in. Different places like social media or anything like that, if they're like wanting to find their location and stuff like that, that could take longer. I think the RTT stuff does not come back with their phone records. I think that's another process that takes even longer. What is RTT? RTT or RRT, I can't remember what it is. It's rapid response. It's something, but it tells you the distance that your phone is from a tower. You know, so if you're on like this tower, it tells you you're on this tower on this side because it's a triangle, so you only have 3 sides. And so you're on the tower on this side of the tower, and you're, you know, 5.43 miles away from the tower on this side. It tells you it tells you the location. But I don't think that that would come in right away either. Interesting. So Callie says, Betty, someone posted comments to me that Chris's camper was parked at St. Jude's Construction on February 25th, and on the 26th, he was ordered to remove it. Interesting. Let me take that. I'll have to find that out. I did not know that. Because I don't see campers being able to stay on the property there. It's highly regulated in that area. But I'm saving your... Okay, you guys didn't hear what sorry, I had to screenshot that. But I don't know how true that is, because there's no campers staying at St. Jude's. They have... they're like the corporations, they have like buildings. They're not buildings, but they're like mobile units that are sitting in a parking lot, but they're like office units. And one of them is it looks like it's it must hold supplies in it, because it's a long metal, you know, like tractor trailer thing that's on the ground there. But there's no campers from employees staying on the St. Joseph's job. I don't think they would be permitted or allowed to do that. Nobody's living on that job. None of the employees are living on that job. Why would they have all these hundreds and hundreds of employees that are working there? And there are quite a few of them, and only allow Chris Proudfoot to stay on St. Jude's property. And it's right downtown Memphis. Like, there's no room to park it on the road. And inside the gated area of parking, like I said, there's those mobile like office buildings, and then the crate, that's the big long crate that looks like it came off an 18-wheeler, is sitting there as well. But no RVs, no campers. There's no, I don't think that's accurate. SCP's car at her house, show car at 10:30 was Chris at her house, was with Katie before 10:30. I don't think Chris got there until after, I think it was after 1:30. I think it was after 1 that Chris got there, not 10:30. So what had happened is Katie was there with Kathy Bowersox. Chris is the one that reached out to Seth while he was at work by text message, knowing he's not allowed to have his phone on his person. So he would never even have gotten that text message until after he got off work. And then I think he called Chris back, but at some point they said, Chris is like, don't be mad, but your son's missing. And so Seth went directly from his work, when he found that out, directly over to Katie's house. And when he got there, he said it was like, you know, a madhouse there, a bunch of cops everywhere, people searching. And that Katie and Katie's mother-in-law, Kathy, were there with him. And I even asked him, you know, was there anything looking back on this event that seems out of place or odd to you? And Seth, in the interview, stated that yes, something did look out of place and odd. It was the conversations that they were having there while his son was missing, he felt was inappropriate. And when I prodded a little bit more, we come to find out that they're talking about selling jewelry and going on vacation, which is absolutely 100% inappropriate when you have a child that's missing. You've never had a child missing in your life, and you're just sitting there relaxing, you know, shooting the breeze with your mother-in-law like it's a normal Sunday. The police didn't secure the crime scene to collect evidence. When they did, couldn't do much, in my opinion. Yeah, we're going to have some problems with that, I truly believe. Michelle Vincent, thank you so much. Jen Trucks just received the gifted membership from Michelle. Thank you. Thank you. So KP was there, no harassment, but your stalking chat, snacks. I mean, Sasha, you're funny. America VA says, I heard Sebastian will be found in the fall of October in a ditch at their home with initial number of 77. Interesting. Ellie isn't doing jack crap covering evidence and standing down. I don't think that, this we can't blame Katie's felony, what she's willing to do to try to stop as a ding on Sumner County. Sumner County's not doing this. Katie Proudfoot is doing this. So I, in my opinion, need to give Sumner County an opportunity. Like, they have to follow the law just like anybody else, and Katie's the one that's not following the law. And even if she's not following the law, when she gets things done, they still have to follow the law, and it still has to go through a court process. At the end of this, it's not going to work, and they're going to have themselves some major penalties for the shenanigans. So again, I'm not really worried about it. Even if I get arrested, it's so what. But from my understanding, they can't arrest me unless I'm anywhere near her, which I've never been anywhere near her. So there's no possibility of me being arrested. I've never even physically laid my eyes on this lady. So I mean, that should tell you I'm absolutely unconcerned of an arrest. These people are trying to make it sound more than it is. It's not. I'm sitting here in Tennessee right now. There's not a damn thing anybody's going to be able to do about it. The worst thing that they're going to be able to do is have me serve the paperwork here, which I don't even think they can without having to go through another subpoena. They have to reissue the subpoena, and that's going to take days because the subpoena is going to my house. The paperwork's going to my house. So to be honest with you, I'm unsure how this is going to work. I mean, it's not like you can just go boom, 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 and all of a sudden this is done. I mean, it's a legal process. So these people are lying to you. They're wasting their time trying to follow me and track me down and everything else because they're not going to be able to. I don't think they could be able to serve me, but we'll find out. And if they serve me, we'll deal with it when it gets here. Either way you look at it, they lied under oath. So I've got the law on my side. They don't. I mean, at the end of the day, that's where we're at. So I'm perfectly fine. Absolutely 100% fine. And I've got so much overwhelming evidence in opposition of all these allegations that they're screwed. Literally screwed. I can prove where I've been. And this is all to take away from their son having advocacy for them. Or they just want to look any more guilty than they already look. I don't see what their end game is. I don't know who thought that this was okay, but they look guilty as shit. And for the people that didn't think they looked guilty as shit now truly do believe that they look guilty as shit, more so than ever. Eric Craddock makes my hair stand on end. He's running for sheriff. The sheriff of the county now is done. He's not running for re-election. And quite frankly, I don't think if Eric Craddock dropped the ball on this, then he has, he's not taking responsibility for that. But when I was talking to the major, he told me that they are taking this very seriously. So when I hear a law enforcement agent tell me that, then it's hard for me to say they're not, because this is a missing kid, an autistic missing kid. If they didn't really have some type of meat to the bone, they wouldn't be taking this very seriously. Okay? Trust me, they use certain language. Again, people that need to pay attention to it. But anyways, we're over an hour. I've got to get my day started. And I'll be back later today, probably later tonight, to chat with you guys. And we'll see you guys soon. So God bless you, and rock it out with your coffee beans out. But just know that I'm okay. We'll start doing fundraising as soon as I get back home. I'll set up a GoFundMe because either way we go, we're going to have to go ahead and file. Even if this whole thing goes away, we still have to file an action against them, because I want to make sure that it's on the record that they've lied under oath, because that might go to help them when stuff does hit the fan later down the road for Sebastian Rogers. So we need to absolutely get that on the record. I want to make sure that there's a court hearing for that. So, we'll get all that done. And at least when, if and when a trial does ensue about Sebastian Rogers, they will have already a lawsuit that they lost related to lying under oath, you know. And hopefully I'll be able to hold their feet to the fire in Sumner County to the fire of absolutely charging her with lying under oath. Because she literally everything I've read, she had to have told them that I was going to kill her. That's what she had to allege to get that that emergency ex parte protective order, that I was going to kill her. That's what she had to allege, that I was going to kill her or do bodily harm to her, serious bodily harm. That is what the lady had to attest to under oath. That's serious. That's pretty serious. So she chose to make these allegations. She knew that they were false when she did them, and she did not care. She tried to intimidate me with lies, and she did it under oath, which in Tennessee, she filed a report that was full of lies, and therefore she just committed a felony. So if she's willing to commit a felony to stop me from searching and advocating for her son, what is she going to do to try to make sure her son's never found? These are questions you guys need to be seriously asking. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and please share me. Please share my channel. We fight for these victims. We go to the mattress for these victims in their avocation. But what we don't do is we don't break the law. So God bless everyone. Take care, and we'll see you soon.